People have some very interesting things, interesting thoughts, and interesting opinions when it comes to the effect of competition, and when it comes to the effect of Game Pass on games, and when it comes to the effect of Game Pass on sales, and when it comes to the effect of PlayStation Now versus Game Pass, which again, it's a highly debatable topic, because the biggest issue is for Game Pass, the big deal is supposed to be the big AAA Xbox games day and date. The thing that kind of drags that down is the fact that they haven't released anything from their first party this entire year so far, and they haven't released a big AAA in 2 years. So that's almost $400 people would have spent for Game Pass Ultimate over the last 2 years, with zero AAA releases from Microsoft themselves. But I get it, trust me. I know people are going to claim that they don't pay anything for it. They do Bing searches or whatever, a bunch of other crap that doesn't really make sense. And yes, I'm sure they do it on 10 different accounts to get it free. And hey, that's great. I'm really happy for you. But the truth of the matter is, competition is great, and this just goes along to prove that. And again, is this proving that Xbox Game Pass is actually hurting the long-term aspects of what's going on? Again, I think Game Pass is okay for a certain type of user, but then when you see stuff like this, you sort of question it as well. Again, so I kind of wanted to jump into this right now. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? It's me, Crap Gaming, back with another video. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. Slap that like button, you bunch of babies, and all you babies that like these videos. Go ahead and do me a solid and slap that like button. Xbox is the best box, and it's going to get 40 to 50 frames per second more, plus better ray tracing. It's simple math, folks. Why does nobody trust my math? I'm telling you, it's going to happen one of these days. Just because we're almost a year into the gen and Xbox is getting stomped in performance doesn't mean that my math is wrong. How dare you? By the way, go ahead and donate to my super chat and my Patreon while you're at it. So anyway, what's funny here is in the UK, now this is very interesting because I know a lot of people go, oh, well, maybe, because it's the UK or whatever, but listen. This is funny because this is directly attributing to a game that's a really crappy game to begin with, but in the UK, 96% of Dark Alliance's physical sales were on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. 96%, with only 4% going to Xbox. Now, the significance here is the UK is Xbox's second biggest territory outside of the US. With that being said, the game was also day and date in Game Pass, and we keep hearing how Game Pass doesn't affect game sales, but then we keep seeing stuff like this where it directly affects game sales. So this is interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and link this as well. So it's not unusual to see physical sales of new releases skew heavily in favor of PlayStation in the UK, but the emergence of Xbox Game Pass is making the splits ridiculous. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, which launched in Britain last week, generated 54% of its box copy sales on PlayStation 5 and a further 42% on PlayStation 4. That's 96% in total. It means that just 4% of physical copies in the UK were sold on Xbox platform, an unprecedented split between console families. Obviously, it is worth reiterating that this reflects box sales only. There's no digital sales data included here, and the game is included as part of Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. Reviews have also been very mixed. So nevertheless, it's perhaps a sign of things to come as Sony's primary competitor continues to double down on subscriptions. There's been some suggesting from the team that Xbox Game Pass actually increases software sales, and while this isolated example certainly doesn't contradict that, it's certainly looking like physical sales may be dominated by PlayStation going forward. Not only that, but I looked in the top paid sales for Xbox in the US, and the game comes in at number 37 out of the top 50. So some of the games that are ahead of it include Far Cry Primal, as well as It Takes Two, Gang Beasts, Green Hell Uno, let's see, Doki Doki Literature, let's see, Monopoly Plus, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, let's see, what else do we have here, Mafia 3, let's see, what else, Subnautica, Midnight Club Los Angeles on the Xbox 360, also comes ahead of it. So yeah, like this game is selling like poo on the Xbox. So even digitally on the Xbox, it's not selling well. Again, is this a definitive end-all be-all? Not necessarily, but it is very interesting to say the least, and I do find it to be sort of funny that, you know, so many people were quick to jump on the whole, you know, it really kind of sells better. You know, stuff sells better. Like, I'm sure that there's some indies that might sell better, that might sell 1,000 copies instead of 500 because of Game Pass, but I think that when it comes to a lot of these mid to AAA stuff, that it's not exactly the case. Now, sort of what spurred some of this would be the fact that yesterday, as you guys know, there's this place called Reset Era where people, you know, it's obviously a video game forum. So this person was talking about, it's gotten to the point, if a game isn't on Game Pass, they won't buy it. And this person says, his name's The Ghost, and he's a member of the forum. And the funny thing is, it's not just him. Reading the comments, it's very dangerous industry. Like, this is very dangerous stuff. So he says, I booted up Game Pass the other day, all ready to download Scarlet Nexus. I haven't been keeping up with the news that Bandai Namco shut down those rumors a month ago. I just assumed it would be there. Lo and behold, it wasn't. Yet I couldn't pull the trigger to actually buy the game. It's not the type of game I would normally play, but was interested, but not interested to pay full price for a game. Game Pass had me so accustomed to risk-free gaming. That's when I realized a trend. I found myself in the Microsoft Store, and there was quite a few games I didn't even know existed, because if it's not in Game Pass, it's not on my radar. Yet I couldn't bring myself to buy them either, because I just assumed one day they will end up in Game Pass. I don't expect to go back into the Microsoft Store to purchase a game until Battlefield releases. Otherwise, my gaming is on Xbox is dedicated and dictated by whether or not a game is on the service. Was this frame of mind I adopted the intentional result of Game Pass? I have streaming services but haven't purchased a movie in over 10 years. Is this just my personality? Anyone experience something similar? And people, like, the comments are like, this is definitely intended. This is exactly what Microsoft is going for. System is working as designed. Games are starting to have that Game Pass feel. I mean, I feel like the seeds were planted with PlayStation Plus monthly games and games with Gold last gen. Just wait, they will show up eventually. It's 100% intended, happened with PlayStation Plus and games with Gold. It's on Game Pass. How would you buy it? I mean, it's obvious that this is Microsoft's end game. It's so visible in sales splits. So basically, they're talking about some of these sales splits and things like that, and we see that, you know, this isn't the only time that it's happened. These sales splits are happening at a rate of like 80% Xbox, 80% PlayStation, 20% Xbox, and even less. And as we're seeing with this game, Dark Alliance, it's a bad game, yes, but it is worth noting and studying to the point where we see it, where it's like this. Now, when it comes to the competition side of things, whether good, bad, or in between, it does look like Sony is finally out there competing with PlayStation Now. You know, and this is good. Like, listen, if they started offering something where, if they started combining PlayStation Now with, you know, PlayStation Plus, and they started doing something like that, like Ultimate Play or something, I feel like, and they started doing it for $1 for years or whatever, I feel like this would probably be more popular, and possibly even more popular than Game Pass. But they added Red Dead Redemption 2, Neo 2, Moving Out, God of War, Judgment, Olympic Tokyo Games, NASCAR Heat 5, and so they're actually offering quite a bit of content for a very good price. But the only difference is you can only get, you know, the first month free or whatever. But I feel like the main drag on PlayStation Now, the perception is that, you know, is that this is actually a service that realistically is not good, or it's a service that can only play streaming games and things like that, which couldn't be further from the truth. You know, I feel like this is something that they need to maybe rebrand or something. You know, I just feel like that's what they need to do more than anything. Like, rebrand what PlayStation Now is. So many people, like, I even corrected this yesterday on Twitter. Somebody said, yeah, it's just a shame that you have to stream the games. And I'm like, no, all the PlayStation 4 games, all the newer, you can download completely. And in fact, like 70% of people that have PlayStation Now actually download this stuff. So yeah, you know, I do think that it's a little bit interesting that people think it's one thing or the other, when the reality is, you know, further from the truth. You know, it's like, I think a rebrand would be totally necessary and totally a good thing. just for the sake of letting people know what's going on with this. It just doesn't make sense that so many people think that this service is only streaming. So again, it's very interesting, but I would really like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. I'm going to link everything. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.